Good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon by the time you see this. Is there anything sweeter in the world than beating Chelsea? Thank you. Cheers. Hope you're well. This is the morning after the game before. I've got a cup of tea. It's going to go up in the afternoon, this one, because we brought back the post-match pint yesterday. And I thought I'd give that a little bit of time to get some people watching it before they watch my alone musings on the morning after the game before. But as I said, is there anything sweeter than beating Chelsea? Listen, I love it when these results happen, and I'm going to go into a bit of a rant here about the top six. There's nothing sweeter than a club like us who tasted a little bit of success last year for the first time in many moons. If you listen to any of the Chelsea fans, the Tottenham fans, the Man United fans, any of them top six fans, they'll begrudge you that. They'll begrudge that clubs like West Ham winning a bit of silverware, because they always tell you to stay in your lane. Now, £1 billion spent for Chelsea this summer. Listen, you can buy as many players as you want, but you can't buy class. And they are probably the most classless, sore bunch of losers I've ever had the displeasure to meet, to be quite honest with you. Because I've got a lot of friends that are Chelsea fans. But, that one's for the likes of Roy Jennings, Carefree Lewis, Louis Beneventi, Matisse, who are all gone on record this week as to saying, gone on record in the past as to saying that West Ham are a waste of time. They'll all have you convinced that we're a waste of time and that we don't deserve to be in the league. Let me remind a few Chelsea fans that before he beat the Russian bought you 20 years ago, I think it was now, you were a similar sized club to us, and you have to divert from your lane every now and then if you want to be a success. And they're the ones that started this epidemic in football, this money epidemic. They bought everything. They've bought Champions Leagues, they've bought league titles, but they still can't buy class. And it doesn't seem like £1 billion can buy a win at the London Stadium. I hate Chelsea. People go on at me about how much I hate Arsenal, how much I hate Tottenham. Nothing compares to Chelsea. Nothing. Because they are classless. They're just a classless club, and there's nothing better. Listen, they will get one up on us probably this season at the Bridge. They may come and beat us next year or next year. £1 billion spent. They're not all bad players. But we showed a bit of class, just a bit of grit, a bit of determination. And we beat them. We beat them fair and square, down to 10 men. Couldn't find a way through. Listen, I thought Sterling was excellent yesterday. Raheem Sterling, I haven't seen him play like that for a long while. But you've got players like, Mudryk. And, I remember last year when, Declan Rice was being rumoured to leave, and it was always Chelsea. It was always going to Chelsea. They'd have you convinced, come home, and then they'd argue about how much he's worth and how much they should be spending on Declan Rice. He's not that good. He's 100 million's a ridiculous amount of money to be paying for Declan Rice. I wouldn't pay no more than 30 for him, but he needs to come back to Chelsea, blah, 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 blah. I got into a bit of an argument with a Chelsea fan, and then he started telling me it was clubs like West Ham and Brighton who had just, I think, sold them Cucurella, maybe, someone like that. They've bought quite a few players from Brighton now that were ruining the transfer market, and they should only give you back the transfer fee that you paid for that player until that player started playing well for teams like Chelsea. And if they ain't selling you them players for the cost price that you bought them for, and if they play well for Chelsea, then you get additions, then you're ruining the transfer market. And then they're talking about Declan Rice, 100 million quid, blah, blah. And they spent £115 million on Caicedo. Listen, I don't know how long it's going to take FFP, if they ever do, to catch up with Chelsea. But once they do catch up with Chelsea, if they want to enforce the rules, because if it's someone like West Ham, you look at people like Leeds in the past and clubs down the bottom, Bury, for instance, they go bust over a couple of £1 million. If you spend more than you make, then they wrap you up, and they let football clubs cease to exist. Yet they allow teams like Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, case in point, to spend far more money than they make, even though the rules state that you can no longer do that. And they'll slap them with some stupid fine. It'll be a fine that could have saved someone like Bury or could have saved someone like Derby from going into administration. But Chelsea will, with no hesitation, pay that fine and just crack on. You know, Manchester City done it a few years ago when they broke financial fair play rules, got banned from the Champions League for 2 years. They was the champions of it in a year when they was supposed to be banned for it. They're still under investigation now. It's becoming a game run by money, and they started it all, and they're certainly steamrolling it again. I saw, the chairman of Brighton on an interview lately, saying about how they felt they was being raided when they come for Potter, when they come for their players, and he was laughing. He was laughing at them. Clubs football's getting ruined by clubs like Chelsea, and there's no better feeling than get one over them. Victory for the small guy. Fuck VAR, because they're still piss balling around with things. Penalty wasn't even a penalty, although it was saved by Areola, so it don't really matter at the end of the day. Was outside the box, clearly outside the box, and they give a penalty anyway. So that's one for the little guy, and the big guy Goliath is stuck on his arse again. But there we go. We'll go to Brighton next week. It's going to be tough. A well-run club, a respectable club, and a club that we haven't beaten since they've been in the Premier League, 6 years ago. So we'll see how we get on there. But yeah, it's always good to get one over Chelsea. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.